Alright. Let's get things actually rolling. Yeah. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Shabadoo. If we can dodge that dragon, uh, A plus. We're good. We did it, you know? But yeah. Let's hope for I want to hope for either affinity within Jeskai colors or squirrel token generation. Maybe just token generation, but specifically the squirrels have the most of that. Anthony Cornstrom, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. 46 months, goodness. I've been. You ever get hit by like a number and just time hits you? Anyway. Dermataxi combos. It's a good one. Anyway. So yeah. This is likely to be the last of our Modern Horizon adventures. Starting tomorrow is a Modern Cube. And you might think, oh, Modern Cube. Like usually I'm not a huge fan of Modern Cube compared to like Vintage Cube as far as power goes. But I'm really excited to see what a Modern Cube in a post-Modern Horizons 2 world looks. Like, when you have, like, because, like, Modern Horizons and Modern Horizons 2 is a lot of, like, variation that's added that allows for a lot of stuff that I'm interested to see in a cube. So, thinking about how I started watching on cons, how long ago was that? Oh, God. 2014, 2015? Time is sure something. Let's not linger. Anywho, but yeah, so this is likely to be our last Modern Horizon draft. Let's see if we can dodge the dragon. Of all the things, the decks I want to get, I just want to dodge that dragon. Charmaw, go away. So, alright. Phantom Draft League, yes. 100 tickets, 100 play points, not tickets. Yes, hit the button. It shows up on that screen. Yes, alright. Let's open our Dragon Pack 1. Let's go. I mean, at this point, it's got to be, right? Like, can we Dragon Monty? Yeah, we're just going to open it pack 1, and it's just going to be like, well, there's a dragon. What can you do? Alright. But yeah, as I mentioned when we were starting, I'm interested in seeing, like, the black-green token-based decks as something we haven't done yet, or a more heavily affinity-based. I say affinity, but modular is actually the larger ability these days. In like, you know, the how the artifact stuff works, but like that was also sort of true. That was true for a part with we have to dodge a Charmaw. We gotta dodge that Charmaw. But yeah, like even back in the oldest affinity lists, like, you know, you still played Arcbound Worker slash obviously Ravager. But you were also playing Frogbite, Mirror Enforcer, Thoughtcast. Somber Hoverguard was in those early lists. Somber Hoverguard is, I think, blue 5 for a 3/2 flyer. Affinity for artifacts. Maybe blue 4. I want to say 5. My brain says 5, but I don't know if that's 5 CMC or 5 colorless on the cost. There was also Furnace Dragon, but that was like not a card you played in Affinity unless you were like trying to like destroy your Affinity opponent and hope they couldn't kill it. Flyer. Because like you effectively cast Obliterate when that card came into play. Broodmaw Affinity was one of the oldest affinities Brood moth, brood. The anyway, that was pre-Ravager days. So yeah. So now I will always think of a artifact-based aggro deck as affinity, no matter if it even contains cards that have affinity for artifacts in it. This was a point of contention back during Scars of Mirrodin, with how the artifact aggro decks were described in standard and formats, because there weren't cards with affinity in Scars. Like, affinity wasn't the mechanic there, because affinity was clearly one of the broken mechanics, cost reduction and all that. But a lot of people still called the mono white or white X artifact aggro decks affinity, even though it contained no affinity cards. And like, I remember Wizards getting really annoyed and trying to change it to robots all the time. Like, players call it affinity, Wizards call it robots. Doc, thanks for the host. Welcome. We're talking about affinity and sort of the history of the word affinity. We're about to jump into a draft for everybody jumping on over here. You just got the beginning. But yeah, during Scars era, there weren't cards with affinity, but the deck that was, like, artifact aggro was just called affinity because of the history of the mechanic affinity. But Wizards was very dead set on killing the name affinity because it had such a bad, like, you said affinity and everyone in the room shuddered. They did not want that associated with their standard format. They didn't
Affinity was a truly lightning fast deck that kind of overwhelmed everything else, right?
Affinity back in standard was a deck that, like, could kill you like lightning and was resilient to anything. Like, you couldn't stop a deck that had the tools it had unless you were playing a deck dedicated to only beating affinity and nothing else. On top of that, these days Wizards is a lot more proactive as far as, like, this looks like a problem, we will ban it. Like, the fact that Oko took months to get banned instead of years is
instead of
notable.
never, basically.
Yeah, right. All right. Well,
Affinity was like would kill you on turn 3 or 4 kind of deck where you also couldn't really stop it, long and short.
Speaking of affinity,
hey, that's a Mulldrifter with affinity for artifacts.
So Thoughtcast,
we love that kind of thing.
Thoughtcast was a card that cost blue 4 and was a sorcery that said draw 2 cards, affinity for artifacts. Thought Monitor here has a body attached to it. I'm super in on this. Bombardment also, by the way, strong card. This tends to be
also like what are you gonna do? Pass up a Mulldrifter? You're not gonna do that.
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. Let me think about this one.
Especially because that affinity, while it's not like the easiest thing in the world to do in this format, it's pretty easy.
Right, making this cost like 3 to 4 mana between, like, treasure tokens, which work the way you want them to, by the way.
All of the tokens work the way you want them to, but like treasure tokens in particular, because they count what you have there, you determine the cost and then you pay for it, is how it works out, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It was a trick you used to, like... Why are the 2 rares? Reprints get their own rare slot, is from what I remember. So Goblin Bombardment, being a reprint, gets its own slot. I don't know. There's nothing in here that's super huge. Unholy Heat. Like,
Press down is a weird trick. This is a very weird trick. It does draw a card and it has flash, but it is a way to, like, remove first strike or, relevant text otherwise from something that's attacking.
I'm interested in picking it to just see what the hell the card does for us.
That's fair, yeah.
That's almost more. I think, like, Unholy Heat, Hard Evidence, So Shiny, all fine cards. I'm gonna pick this to see what the hell we can do with it. That's all.
Arcbound Prototype, Patchwork Gnomes,
I'm
Sojourner's Companion for another artifact creature.
yeah. Cool thing here, Sojourner's Companion is a not quite because of creature types, it can't specifically be a power creep, but this is Mirror Enforcer with extra text. You know. So,
And yeah, it's a big metal axolotl, which is also a good thing.
So this seems weird to be picking like just a generic bear, but let me tell you, modular does so much work.
Modular is a lot better than you think in a format with, tons and tons of artifact creatures,
Yeah. I like it more than the Javelineer. Javelineer is neat as like a trick. It's a throwback to Acacian Javelineer. Moderation.
You can't cast more than one spell each turn. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. That's not both players, it's just you. It's kind of a gimmick in its own way.
Okay, here's one thing to note in this pack is the cut on red. I'm willing.
That's fine so far, although red and blue do interact really well with your plan right now, so it's a bit of a shame.
And also seeing like bone shards and a couple strong bits around here. So, cool thing about here, I'm going to pick up a spinner because spinner here, whenever he casts a spell,
affinity creatures and stuff.
Like, hopefully we can get some sojourners back.
You probably will. Like they're playable by any deck technically, but for the most part, it's pretty much only playable in blue-white, blue-red, and I think there's a little bit of artifacts in blue-green, but mostly blue-white, blue-red.
Okay, we got Knighted Mirror. We got Breathless is like whenever it or another creature comes into control from your grave, it gets counters. Also, this card is just good on its face. That's sort of the idea.
Yep.
Arcbound Whelp is obviously cool if red is something we are able to do.
Arcbound Whelp is just neat as one of the smaller dragons that they don't print very often anymore, but kind of cool whenever it does happen.
So, thinking between Whale, Whelp, and Knighted Mirror.
I think Whale is the most directly on plan for you, but Knighted Mirror is also cool for what it's worth. Late to Dinner has a...
That one's actually pretty cool.
It's pretty real, honestly, and the creating a food token is relevant. Food is an artifact.
Yes. Also, it if we're just buying back a Thought Monitor, that's a nice... Guardian Kieran is also a good flyer.
Also, I'm gonna put this out here as something I appreciate. Late to Dinner is mono white reanimate.
Yes, they're bringing. So this is Breath of Life. This used to be a white mechanic that was
that they abandoned for a long time.
Yeah.
Even though for the longest time, like reanimating and graveyard interaction like that, white was supposed to be like tertiary in, because green is the secondary color in it, but white could do it.
Green never got reanimate. White was always secondary and to play. Green doesn't get to go to play.
Yeah, fair. Green does get to pick up anything it wants.
Correct.
Which is I just consider that to be about as powerful, is what I mean.
It is, but like Debtor's Knell is the card that is like the shared gap between.
Fair enough.
I want to find some duels for us. Those are pretty hefty. Mere Scrapling?
Actually, yeah. Mere Scrapling's a pretty solid idea here.
Burdened Aerialist. All of these are fine.
Okay. I think Burdened Aerialist is actually the best of these for you.
Yeah, let me quick just sort by CMC just to see how things look.
You're not super heavy on the threes yet, so there's that.
Yeah,
Fairground Patrol is okay. It creates it on exile of itself from the graveyard.
Correct, and Mere Scrap. I'm fine with all three of these as cool bits. On our rebuy, I'm just gonna get Piercing Rays.
I'm gonna argue for Floodhound.
Floodhound over the removal?
It's Piercing Rays is a nice solid removal card, yeah, but Floodhound is actually an engine in a affinity deck.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, it's a one mana 1/2. I believe that's actually vaguely relevant in this format with
All right, I'll go.
there's not that many servos in this.
I'll go that
mirror
direction
tokens.
on this. Well, let's give it a shot. So Shiny gets us a little bit of a removal backup. We can also pick up Disciple of the Sun. Disciple of the Sun is actually a pretty reasonable body that picks up, like, nifty bits. Maybe that's more... So Shiny's good. I might go with this recursion bit.
You play Late to Dinner on
Oh.
Disciple of the Sun, picking up also Burdened Aerialist, which you can then sacrifice like your treasure token to double pay for, along with a bunch of other stuff for your Steelfin Whale.
Yeah, worst case, it's like pick up Dress Down to cycle it. And it says permanent, right? Yeah, permanent card. Oh, I want this companion, actually.
The companion's actually relevant.
We don't have the lands yet. I'm really hopeful we see some... Like, they're pretty high picks, I think, if we see...
They're high picks in specific colors. As we saw last time, the blue-green one is apparently not like a bottom pick that no one takes. That's a real card, actually.
That's a bear.
Yeah.
That could do some
It's a
mana.
1-mana bear.
Endurance! Yeah, okay. So Endurance here is the one that is the green exile card. Oh my god, it's right below the cut.
All right, so that is probably your pick, because I don't see anything like...
Yeah, it's like,
here.
pick up an Aerialist. Glorious Enforcer's too expensive for me to really like. Abiding Grace is a funny card for Constructed, where you pick up Martyrous Sands with this. Like, and go to town forever. Fairgrounds Patrol is a card I'd be fine including on the wheel here. Same with Mental Journey as a one of in the deck. But really, it's the Aerialist. But, like, we need... these lands are huge for us as fixing and artifacts.
And they're fixing, and they're also cost reducing.
Yes. So, like,
which kind of
affinity. Like, we have all sorts of...
With how artifact lands work and how affinity works, even though it ETB's tapped, it can still pay for affinity by entering the battlefield at all. Okay, Dakin just requires you to splash black and you have them. Good. Right. There you go. Easy.
You know what the cool thing about splashing black is? We have more artifact
really
lands.
Easy. Yeah.
So let's try to...
Artifact lands and also treasure tokens can also pay for black.
Yes,
stuff like
we can just do it off of Aerialist here. Okay. We're giving up, like... Nothing that's, again, super huge. Again, a Fairground Aerialist that I would play. It makes me feel like feel bad for passing up like a couple artifact lands earlier, but whatever. That's not.
Who cares? You got Dakin now here. It's good.
Ooh.
Mirari's Wake, Barbed Spike. Here we go. That's good.
This is an artifact that makes an artifact.
This is like, it has functionally living weapon, except that the germ that it makes is a flying 1/1.
Yes, the artifact itself is pretty low impact. It's just +1 power. This is a 2/1 flyer that is 2 artifacts.
Yes.
That's what makes it so powerful for us, is that it's going to be 2 artifacts for our carers. It also makes an artifact body for our modular. Yep. So that's going to be great. I'd love to have a hard evidence at the end of the day for this as well.
Just gonna point over there on the far right. Just Gargadon.
There's our good
friend.
They
printed just Gargadon over there.
So this does imply the existence of a great Gargadon, or a middling, like a middling Gargadon, perhaps. One that is like an okay Gargadon.
They never printed Greatest Gargadon either.
Well, so the big thing is that Greater Gargadon is a 9/7. Gargadon is a 7/5. So that implies the 8/6.
Of course, which is Great Gargadon. That makes sense.
Great Gargadon. Huh.
And then, of course, there's also Lesser Gargadon, which I believe is what? Was that a 5/4?
Lesser was a 5. It was a... it's one below Gargadon. It was a 6/4.
6/4. Right. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Soul Snare is probably just fine here. Liquid Metal Torque is also like This isn't coding. You can't use it the way coding is, but it taps for mana. We can also use it to like make things into artifacts. I'm gonna pick up a piece of removal. This is like a really annoying thing to have in play, and we can recur it with Disciple.
Yeah, it's there. You play it, and it will eventually like. Okay, hold on.
All right, so Riptide Lab. There's not a ton of things for us to be bouncing. The best case would be like, oh my god. Shenanigans. Where we turn all their lands into islands. Feel like that's a pirate. Chrome Courier is a 3-mana 1/1 that top 2. One in hand, one in grave.
It's Seagate Oracle for
Yes. And if you grab an artifact,
it gains you some life.
It gains you some life. So artifact body, evasion, something we can maybe put the spike on. We can put modular counters on.
Oh, and it puts in the grave in case you have Late Dinner or Disciple of the Sun.
Yes. Cursed Totem. Okay, this could be a fine Dreadmaw spot. That's activated abilities. This is a reprint from Tempest Era. I forget exactly what set that's from. Guardian Kieran and Phantasmal Dreadmaw are the two I'm looking at. Soul of Migration's also, like, reasonable. I like Dreadmaw as something that really gets... Like, there are certain decks where this card is, like, just wild powerful. And then, like, some opponents... oh, the watermark on it. Ah, that's a good way to tell. Thank you. Did not realize that was a bit... Oh, well, Heartbound Mauser.
Lifelink... Modular 1 cat, Parcel Meter, which is just a piker that you can sack to draw a card.
I think I value the little cat a little more. Evil Starfish is very good, yes.
All right, we're only on pack 2. I always feel like that we're on pack 3 for some reason whenever we're halfway through pack 2.
This is a good play. I want more land. That's I think the biggest thing we're looking for out of our final pack is more bits down here. Parcel Mirror to fill out that slot.
Sorry, I adore the text wizard cycling.
Yes. Wizard cycling.
Put that wizard on a bicycle and just go to town.
Mm-hmm. I never noticed.
The backpack? Oh, it's a clue!
It's a clue!
you pay 2 to sack to draw a card. Of course it's a clue.
Holy shit.
That whips.
I mean, like, I've seen that card, like, opponents have played it a ton. But, Sterling Grove, this is a Enchantress card from Invasion block.
Yeah, it's a
Enlightened Tutor plus
Enlightened Tutor plus also the Shroud thing for enchantments.
Okay. Floodhound to Hard Evidence.
All right, now I regret recommending Floodhound because I think we only really want one of these if we are playing it.
I don't. I'm gonna grab Hard Evidence here.
Yeah.
Well. Okay.
I'm glad that we're in one of the correct colors to be in. Like, that's good. People aren't really playing blue, it seems like.
Let's find some artifact lands. I feel like that's number 1 out of all of my wants is I want more Razortide bridges and I want, like, 1 or 2 ways to play Dakon.
Yeah, the blue-black one. Scion of Draco. All right, so right now, if you did have a black plane, a swamp, and not black plains, a swamp in there, it would be vigilance, hexproof, lifelink, flying, 4. Scion of Draco is only a 4/4. I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, no, you know why? Do you know what this card costs? It's 2. This card costs 2 mana. Like, this is like in Modern, you can play this on turn 2.
That's
all 5.
I understand that entirely. Yeah, in Modern for sure, but in Limited, I don't know if it's worth picking.
I'm reasonably just gonna pick it because there's not a lot else. No, this is Converge. I don't actually care about. I'm gonna pick it to see what happens because
Alert the Kavanaugh. Wait, no, Sunburst is Kavanaugh's.
yeah, sadly
Pet
it's
mechanic. Never mind.
well,
Not Converge.
Converge is
There is a
close,
Converge Sunburst card in this, if I remember right, and
Well,
that's
they're-
cool. But
Well, they're the same mechanic at the end of the day, right?
yeah, well, sure, fair.
Hmm. Do I just want a card that says like if our
What
opponent
is this?
is
What does the text Disciple of the Sun say again? By the way, I just realized.
what does what do?
It's Disciple of the Sun. Does that put a permanent that costs 3 or less in your hand or
Hand.
hand? Okay. I was just thought like, wait a second, can that put Dakin into play? But no, they can't.
But it can pick up Dakin as a second use.
Yes.
Sanctifier or Guardian Kieran is like the choices here. This is a card that like in some matchups, just like here you go, here's a body.
Guardian Kieran enjoys the presence of Parcel Mirrors. I can say that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's worth picking it over the Sanctifier though.
Fractured Sanity. Another Mauser.
Not a single blue black or white black of these artifact lands.
I'm looking for a lot of those artifact lands, and we're just not seeing them in these packs.
Destroy target land that is snow or could produce colorless. This is the fuck Kaldheim card, I guess, with overload on it.
It's the fuck Modern Horizons 1/Urza's
Yeah.
lands. This is wow. We want to hate Tron so badly. Like. There's so many cards in this set that feel like somebody who failed to get Urzatron banned, so they printed a half dozen cards.
Karmic Guide. That's worth playing,
whips.
I think. Easy.
Yo, that whips.
Karmic Guide is great. Karmic Guide is fantastic.
All right, let's Karmic Guide for maybe the actual thing I'm doing with Scion of Draco is discarding it.
Maybe.
If I can find
You
it.
do have at least one card that can, but it has to be in the top 2 of your deck.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. Because we have multiple resurrection bits.
Karmic Guide is a fantastic card.
Both of these cards are bad at rate, said and done. Like, you get this for lower than this cost on both cards, but the fact that it's a split card is what makes it real.
Yeah.
Solitary Confinement.
Well, it lets you discard cards.
It does, or we can Chrome Courier and that's another.
Chrome Courier instead. Or Burdened Early.
Oh,
or
I'm sorry.
Crash from
Magic Online is
may need to restart. It might actually just be lying to you.
okay. Nope, that's
Okay, that's really bad.
Shit. All right, hold on. You can see the draft going in the background there. F.
Magic Online.
Come on. Come on. I do not want my last of these. I do not want my last of these damn things to be MTGO crashed, and now I missed my damn draft. And
I think the only thing you might have been forced to take was, I think you were forced to take. No, it did take the Chrome Courier. You're fine.
Okay, all right.
You didn't miss anything.
Oh.
Oof. Dermotaxi.
I love Again, there's a lot of like reanimation in here too. Dermotaxi rules. From a grave, and then you just make a vehicle out of the elephant.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Bar Spike is way more.
High Cabal Coffers.
Yeah, High Cabal
You don't do anything in this deck.
There's no reason to Dermotaxi Draco when I can literally just revive Draco with this, or revive Draco with this, or... Wow, come on. We're not gonna have lands for this, are we? That's annoying. I'm sorry, is that
Maybe
Riptide?
back when you...
Riptide Lab 2?
Huh? That is Riptide Lab too, yeah.
Still doesn't do
Someone could have been Wizard King, I guess.
it. Yeah, somebody might be. How bad of an idea is an off-color artifact land? I don't like it. I really think it might be the pick here for a Rustvale Bridge, but I feel like this is just
I would prefer Dross
horrible.
instead.
They're both bad.
They're really both bad, yeah.
Like, I don't want to be playing either. I think we picked the bridge so that I can Sojourner's Companion to search it.
Yeah, that's maybe like the only real reason why you'd consider playing it, so you can get it up with a companion. Okay. You might get another, what do you call, aerialist, I guess, as a thing to pick.
Yeah, Phantasmal Dreadmaw, another Sea Drake, our good buddy.
Ain't nothing wrong with Sea Drake. Lens Flare will almost certainly not cost any more than 3. It probably will cost 2.
Yeah. I like it because it's also going to be something that spinners.
Yes.
I do not care about that. I'm about to pick it, but I just don't think I care about it. Foil Heart Evidence.
Get ourselves a foil crab.
Yo!
Type. That's actually legit to get. Or Healer's Flock, or probably the prototype. Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to justify triple white.
If we had more fixing, if this had more fixing for us, I would be able to, but...
If you had the fixing you did the last time,
yes,
you know, with your
5
of them, you'd be able to play that triple white easy peasy.
Alright. I'm still gonna try to splash Dakin, and it might be not a correct thing to do, but it's too powerful a card for me to not do that too. Like, that's basically it. It's just that Dakin is that strong. Because it's a removal spell that sits on the board and also comes in with a gigantic amount of loyalty. I don't think I've mentioned this for the last 3 times we've seen this card, because somehow we've seen this card like twice now. Dakin's loyalty is $1 billion.
Dakin comes into play with usually around 7 loyalty, yeah. I want to say.
Like, we want Dakin to come in with 4. I want Dakin with enough to exile and live.
Right.
We can also use Dakin as a minus to grab Scion Draco back. Again, a 3rd. How many cards do we get with the basic land cycling? None. Not in this deck. So, our fixing is quite bad. Alright, let's,
You got 2 aerialists. I believe you have at least one other way to generate treasure tokens.
Yeah, we have treasure. Treasure tokens are going to be I think, our biggest bits for this. All right, so let's get the affinity stuff sort of in the deck. That's really kind of the crux of what's going on here. Aerialist, Spinner, Dreadmaw, Disciple, some Lens Flares. Over here we get Companion, Thought, Whales. Absolutely playing the Karma Cut. I want to play the Draco and Dakin, so I'm going to.
You got 2. You got one more, like, kind of include.
Okay, well, I'm going to do this much, and then I'm just adding things in, and then we'll adjust downward.
Mm-hmm.
How does Draco get into the graveyard? It doesn't.
Hopefully it costs 6.
Hopefully it costs 6, and I'm fine with a 4/4 flyer. I'm sorry, a 4/4 flying vigilance hexproof lifelinker for 6.
More likely to be 90% of the time going to be a 8 mana 4/4 flyer with hexproof and vigilance.
It's what we call a bad include, but I'm doing it anyway. Because I'm the one in control and no one can stop me.
Yes. It's a fun include, is what it is.
We'll play both the bridge. Oh, about it getting abilities. I just realized that's each creature. What the fuck? No, it does.
com-
Draco itself does get the abilities. Each creature, it doesn't say each other creature. That does not say other.
Okay, all right. So I thought it was just Draco that got the abilities.
Same here. I like, because I've seen this in like modern ideas for domain.
Oh, right, but also Scion of Draco itself is colorless, so it doesn't get any of those
Oh God.
abilities.
Okay, so I haven't read the card. Okay, let me read the card for the final time. The fuck does this actually do? Okay, if it's white, if it's blue. Okay, so that is much less exciting than I wanted. I thought this was gonna be this had them all. Reading cards is hard, and it's fine. I want you to know that I have read this card like 5 times and apparently got it wrong in a different way each time. That's fine. I thought it was a Chromanticore.
I absolutely also thought it was a Chromanticore.
I just thought it was Chromanticore that was hard to cast. That's so much less exciting. I guess the reason it's cool in the domain decks in Modern as an idea is that it is a 2-mana 4/4 flyer that hands off like trample to your team. Anyway, that fixes the last cut from our deck.
Yeah, now that we know that card is way less exciting than we thought it was.
The thing is, like, it handing off abilities is cool. Vigilance,
but not for what we want.
That's that. No, I don't want that. Give me handoff. Handoff first strike, handoff lifelink. I'm A+ on that, but the rest of those, ooh boy.
Yeah, if this was if you were playing a black-red primary deck, then this would be A+. But
the Mirror Scrappling and the Hard Evidence are the other cards I'd want to include. Is there anything that? Okay, well, glad that we can double check this and chat can tell me, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Because I would definitely have played it and then been like, huh, that doesn't have text, and then been very confused.
all things considered, this as it is a pretty focused deck.
Yeah, I like the doubles on a lot of our cards.
Yeah, we have a lot of redundancy.
I go with the Floodhound over the Hard Evidence, and like if our opponent is a much more like, here's a bunch of bears, we can call in Columbo to help us out, right?
Yeah.
Like if our opponent is somebody who's literally casting our prime prototypes or like 2 power creatures, then yeah, A+. Not sure how to value this. I seriously don't know. It's a weird counterspell. Again, I kind of want to include it just to play with the dang thing, but like, I don't know. I don't think it. We'll have to see if there's like cards our opponents play where I'm gonna keep it in mind while evaluating the boards. It stops. Yes, it does stop enter the battlefield effects. That's the main thing. This is a humility for 1 turn. So like, say your opponent casts Shriek Maw, or like we cast Thought Monitor. You could play Dress Down in response, and then it has no ability when it comes in. The ability does not go on the stack because it does not exist. Same with Disciple of the Sun. So it can counter some of the things like our Chrome Couriers, or, our modular creatures have no modular, like things like that. But anyway, well, this looks fine. We'll include the Drawsforge Bridge. I don't think I even include Swamp.
Yeah, now that you're not playing the Scion, don't bother.
Yeah, like we use the Companion to try to fix for it.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be a thing to remove evasion, but the problem is like our creatures are like garbage. So like, and evasive. We're the deck who wants to be evading, not the one who wants to be stopping evasion, right? Like if we say we're a deck that had a bunch of bears and 4/4s and things like that, and like we're getting our ass kicked by like pile of flyers, that's a perfect counter to it. But like, this already flies. Anyway, you want more planes than all right. You want the illegal deck? Oh no, you want the swamp. Okay, no.
We do want the slight lean on planes over
Right here.
islands anyway, just because of the twos and
Right
ones.
there.
And also, our only double cost, I believe, is the Karmic Guide. So,
Dreadmaw
oh,
is.
also Dreadmaw. Okay, fine, sure.
Dreadmaw, by the way, is one of the easier out slots in certain matchups if our opponent has anything that looks like reliable. This is so a lot of the more current versions of this in like standard are when it becomes targeted by a spell, not spell or ability, to make it so there's always a 1-for-1 involved.
Right.
However, this has spell or ability, so like if they have a tapper, if they have a like a thing that buffs things in play, like a any sort of in play repetitive ability, like we have to get this thing the hell out of there.
That new FTK, just come in with 0 power on it or whatever it is, and then just target it anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of like, so we'll be able to know from our opponent, and like it doesn't come out if our opponent's like heavy removal wise. Maybe it does, but like if they're spending real removal, that's still real removal. But if they're spending like, if it's like here's a bounce spell or here's a pump spell or worse, here's an in play tap ability, that's when it's very bad. So
I love, by the way, that FTK, the new one, has the same thing as original FTK of can't play it into an empty board. It will kill itself.
Again, that's so fun with this set where as the Dreadmaw is the older version of Illusory.
Yes.
Tide Shaper is actually becomes an island. Like these are a lot of effects that we just don't see in standard, and also aren't the current like correct. I'm doing some quotes in my hand. Text for that sort of thing, but they're accurate to what they actually were. That FTK blows itself up. Sweet. The literal Karmic Guide is here. I'm so excited for literal Karmic Guide. Reading cards is so goddamn hard, y'all.
There's so many cards to read, and sometimes you just skim through them. It makes sense.
A new set comes out, 250 cards show up. I just see it's fine.
Also, like, I was going to assume entirely that Scion of Draco only cared about itself the same way that Draco, the original card, did.
Only cared about itself,
No.
yeah.
Especially since Scion of Draco apparently does nothing if you play it alongside Draco.
It doesn't care.
They don't like each other, actually.
No, they're actually not friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do not get along together well. Phantasmal Dreadmaw probably gets replaced by like Steelfin Whale or like Air Amoeba in a number of boarding scenarios. Tide Shaper is really funny because I can board this in against a blue opponent.
So you just have a 1-mana bear.
Yeah, so here's Izamaru. Let's go.
Can you defeat Izamaru, Hound of Kanda?
Nobody can.
A really good dog. Who can beat a dog of that power?
Here's a repetitive ability to kill a Phantasmal Dreadmaw. How many counters do you want to remove? And why is it 0?
What we thought Present Arc was the domain also counted the like lands you had. I think is what we both agreed.
I literally thought it was if you control the swamp, get X. If you control an island, get X. If you control, like that was specifically what I thought the card had going on.
As also what I thought it said.
I'm just gonna bridge here. They're not coming at me. Sure.
Dusk Shell Crawl. So this is +1/+1 counters plan.
Yeah,
okay.
they're counter liker. Okay.
Here's a cool dog.
Glad we already
Play
have our...
Floodhound and Hard Evidence, and right next to each other. You get Columbo and Dog.
I will block. Don't try me. Come on. Come on.
You're not gonna spend.
You're gonna
like,
spend a combat trick
to...
here? Really?
You're really gonna spend a combat trick here? I guess it's because, okay, they're just gonna get the counters out of it anyway.
Alright, so now there's a... So I want to draw, like... Oh, shit, 6 toughness. That's kind of bad to deal with.
Well, you do have something in your hand right now that can deal with that,
Yes.
sort of.
Gonna go Burdened Aerialist, I think. This card, by the way, like, absolutely unreal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is the card
Reinforce 2 and Scavenge 7?
Also,
right.
just look at its stat line. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a 4-mana 4/4 trample. Jeez.
Yeah. Like, every single mode on that card is like a beating and a half.
It's like, yeah, you use the Reinforce to put the it's 2 power for 2 on whatever. That makes sense. That's good. It's permanent bonus as well. You can play it just as a big creature. They both, the Reinforce and playing as a creature, then dying, can then later scavenge to put +4/+4 on something. Yeah, that's quite real.
Okay, costs 2 less. Could Dreadmaw here.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that they don't have a target in their hand, or if they do.
Problem was they did right there. They already used that one.
Yes, they did. So I'm assuming that they don't have another one. And even if they do, it's one that will not speed up their clock, because it'd be something that would otherwise buff your stuff. I think.
I might just go Dreadmaw and see what happens. If it gets killed,
Also,
it gets killed. We can Karmic Guide it back.
Does the Reinforced text on it say that it has to be your target, your creature? Nope, on target creature.
Yeah,
okay.
you can just use that as a kill spell. So they can just discard a... That sucks. Because that doesn't even counter the...
Proliferate.
Spell. We are getting run down by... very quickly by these.
You could Karmic Guide to try again.
Yeah, if it fails, we, what, die?
Suppose. I mean, it's not like it's a great plan, but it's...
Yeah, I'm looking
I think it's your only way to get, like, the board advantage back. Or you could flood the board with things, yeah, because I mean, you can get the Thought Monitor out now on top of this, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Thought Monitor will get you more cards back in your hand.
Give me a planes off this, please. Well, okay.
That's actually not bad.
That opens up the draw of...
That makes Dakin legit, and Dakin will be coming in with 6 counters right now.
Yeah. The problem is it cuts off Karmic Guide as a possible play now.
Oh, right, because you don't have the planes.
Sure.
Okay.
+X your team in some way.
Captured by Legax. Port 2. That's going to put the on... Okay, between those two, right?
Yes.
Right. I guess you could kill the Mishra's factory.
Yeah, and then...
Imagining in the world, though, they would then just follow that up with giant growth. Okay, Dakin is not playable because you don't have any white left.
Yep.
That's a shame.
We concede to not. I mean, they already see it, I suppose. There's no winning from this position. We just die to an attack. So.
Yep.
Damn. All right. We have just. Boy, howdy, our removal's non-existent. That's quite bad. What do I have that can stand up against? I don't like Dreadmaw in this match. This is one of the worst matches for it because, like, Dreadmaw's fine when your opponent's removal spells are trading for Dreadmaw. Dreadmaw is the worst card in the universe when a pump spell trades for it. You feel like the worst choices have been made for that. Damn, I'm even playing more on plane, so that's not an issue here. I don't hate the idea of a bounce spell to reset some of those +1/+1 counters.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. It's a functional way to counter some spells, you know? So, like, it can be used as a 1 for X, depending on how many they've played on something.
Yeah.
You might want to put second whale in as that has enough meat to survive combat.
Yeah, that seems to be a little more important than anything else here.
Over like what, a Mauser or a Chrome Courier? Probably over the Mauser, yeah.
Yeah. Go over the Mauser. Alright. Yes, I'd like to play first. Yes, this seems fine.
This is not bad at all. This is pretty good.
Love to see Razortide Bridge in any opener.
Yeah, and this one has double white, double blue, and shouldn't have any issue with playing anything that you get a draw.
Yeah. Modular's nice because if they do like combat trick to bypass us, then like we just modular onto Chrome Courier sort of thing. Have a curve, pretty good one. All right.
Nice to have 2 drops.
Yeah.
A previous thing of this, I believe, had
there's
a couple of 1s and a ton of 3s and not a single 2 drop. I'm willing to bet they had like 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, recalibrate. That's a good thing to keep in your hand.
All right, so let's grab this. Take that Mauser to hand and gain some life.
Good thing to modular onto now, too.
Yes.
Both the Mauser and the Courier for different reasons. And of course, with how modular works, you can do one then the other if you have to. This is what an Affinity deck is supposed to look more like.
Yeah.
You actually pulled these creatures out way faster than normal. As opposed to last game where you were behind the curve pretty bad.
Yes. It's like they've got Knighted Mirror, they can pump. It gets double strike no matter what when it gets 1/1 counters. That's kind of one of its more powerful bits. So like here, when it gets a 1/1 counter from this, it will
get have double strike, yeah.
Yeah.
Double strike trample. Gross.
Yes. There's little.
So that crawler needs to die as fast as it can as possible, really.
Yeah.
And that you can't do that on board.
Nope. We are taking that hit. Okay. Barbed Spike. Can also bounce the whale to recast it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Where do I want this? It's likely they're holding at least 2 tricks that put counters on the Knight and Mirror. I would assume from a deck like this, they're either holding like Proliferate or Reinforce or a +1/+1 counter trick from there's a white one for white one, or another Dust Shell Crawler, or the Outlast Lord, or like the green white in the set is like every single card does sort of that same bit. If I want to kill it in a fight, I'm just gonna move this to the prototype. No, 2 to move? Oh, right, 2 to move, not 1 to move. No, we're not gonna. I want to leave up the Recalibrate in case of fire. That's one of the more important cards in our hand. I mean, being that it's the only card in our hand. Alright, and here's the obvious
Okay.
trick. So we just bounce that and...
Yeah, get a sort of a 2-for-1 kind of situation. More like a 1.5-for-1 off of this.
The problem is that this comes back in 2 turns to
Yeah.
attack us for 14.
So it's more like 2 halves for 1, which do not actually come out to being a 1.
Yeah, because like this is going to be able to adapt next turn, and then afterwards they'll be able to put 4 more counters on it. Okay. Very much not where I wanted to draw there.
What I really want to see is your Mulldrifter. That'd be
Yeah.
your best draw, I think. Because, I mean, like, what? It costs 1 blue right now? Like, just blue? And, it would draw you 2 cards and be a relevant body on the board?
Yeah. Yep. So we're taking 6 here, and then we're dying next turn? That's very bad. How am I supposed to stop this? Yeah, so we take 6. Or 5, I suppose. Modular. Put that on. Token. Okay. Alright. Hey, Courier. How's it going?
Well, good to have you around, Kavanaugh.
Yep. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I need to leave effectively everybody back so that I don't die here. Alright, so this is really obvious play. We just go ahead and scavenge and then attack for 14. Yeah, and this is also an all-out because... So, body on here... I don't have enough toughness to block this. Because everything also has trample. So. Wait. No. We're gonna live, damn it. Alright. So, the move is...
Oh, I think I know what you're gonna
Yeah.
do. You're going to modular on the first strike step. Gotcha.
But I need to make sure I don't die to this trample bit. Okay. So...
Modular is a very interesting mechanic timing-wise sometimes. Just like everything that can possibly interact on the first strike step.
Yep. So I'm going to go to 1 here. Also, this body's going to become a 9/9.
That's fair. It's fine. I mean, the thing is that I want to say your best available sequence into the way that I can see you stabilizing here is going to require you to draw your Mulldrifter, Burdened Aerialist, and Dakin Blackblade. Because that's the only way you have the ability to pay for black.
Yeah.
In your deck. With that doesn't require you to, yeah.
Alright. Well.
It creates a food token.
Get the courier. And then we reveal Mulldrifter to this.
Nope. You reveal Isle of Plains. It's what the card's text says.
Okay. Holy shit. What are you treasure cruise for today? Well,
It's 3 planes, of course.
yeah.
It's what the card says. All you can do with it.
Incredible.
Giving trample to your team. It's a very powerful thing to give.
Yeah.
Is trample the second most valuable keyword to give something? I feel like it kind of is.
It depends on the situations. Like, cause like, I always am gonna feel like handing off like hexproof is gonna be something that just, you know.
Yeah, fair.
Knocks back a lot. Anyway, let's move on to that one. I feel like
I want to say, go for it.
I feel like our deck is a little bit lacking in kill spells now that I'm looking at things, but hopefully we can just not run into opponents who make one giant creature.
Yes.
Because hopefully we should be able to draw into like our deal 5s. You know, if Razortide Bridge wants to be in every opener I ever have, I will allow it.
+2 Arcbound creatures on top of each other. That's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, I'm actually going to wait on
the bridge so you can get the prototype out on turn 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
I want to look aggressive.
Okay. They look aggressive immediately. Cool dog.
Okay. So they're going to play their own prototype and pass. To which you get to attack into it because they don't want to trade their prototype on an empty board.
Okay. Proper red.
Looking at like 2-shock. If they got 2-shock, they're okay. If they have 1-shock, they're not. Okay.
Ornithopter Paradise. All right.
That's a good one. Ramp plus like artifact for if they do have, yeah, they can modular onto this. Yeah, get that.
You can't. Yeah, get that bridge out of your hand now, I guess.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So, here's this. There's a sequence of draws that make this. There's no singular draw I can think of that makes this bridge wrong. There's obviously Dakin that makes this one wrong. You might say, well, what if you don't have double blue to be able to play a Maw drumped off the top of your deck? Well, we do.
And your only double white is already in your hand, and you can't play it anyway.
Right,
So
there's nothing to revive, so... Okay, we get our drain one. Ornithopter Paradise is quite good. They probably get to play out like Whelp or something like that on 3 here. We get to investigate. Oh my god.
I Knighted Mirror
God,
again.
you son of a... Alright. Alright, so we get to play Bridge here.
You still attack into that, right?
Oh,
like
yeah, I attack in with Arcbound. Well, because, like, I'm sure as hell not blocking. This thing's unblockable in a lot of different ways. So
Double Strike is a unbelievably powerful keyword.
Yeah.
It does a lot of stuff.
So we get a Floodhound end step. Hopefully use that as kind of a draw engine to fix out the fact that we're going to be flooding a little bit. Alright, so this is likely us taking 6. It's okay if they do that and take their entire turn for it.
Mm-hmm.
If they just choose to go for 2, I'm also fine with that. But I assume
yeah, because it means that they just go for 2, then all they did was 2 damage to you. That's fine.
Well, if they do it for that, that means they're building their board, and right now we're in a position where if they play out like the 4/4 Riot Arcbound, we kind of don't have an answer to that. Okay.
The second one's actually not that concerning, right? Like, unless they have a team pump.
Right. Oh, hey.
Lightning Spear, huh?
Yeah. More relevantly, a way to hand trample off to a double striker. Okay. Get our clue token.
From Courier, all right.
Like seeing you. I can play Courier, still pop clue.
You don't feel bad about putting something valuable in the grave either.
You're right, because we can
with Courier.
We can mix that up. I guess we just leave up our bridges. Because there's no double I could draw that would be, like, unusable. Actually, I'd probably use the Draw Swords bridge, because there's no world where I would...
Yeah, you can't play Dakin anyway, so go for it.
Yeah, there's no world where I can play Dakin off this.
It was a slow artifact swamp is what that is. It's not actually... The red is completely irrelevant on it.
Yeah. Okay, here's that. Well, I'll take that Burdened Aerialist, thanks.
Good rip.
Do I want... Probably still want to attack with the prototype here. And, like, blocking against these double strikers is just impossible, so... I get to pop the clue no matter what here. We've already got a decent affinity setup going. Yep, there's the equip. So this is going to be that mirror hitting me for big damage. Now, if I left back the blocker, they just wouldn't have equipped and attacked in and left 6 up.
Well, they can only activate one of them.
Yes.
But the thing is, I think they will activate the one that saves both of them. So they don't necessarily plan on doing all of their damage on this turn.
No.
But if you don't block, then that's what they're gonna do, I think.
I think Mauser probably gets in front of something. I'm just going to prevent this one from going off, I guess. I don't know. If I throw Floodhound in front of this, that forces them to do it. But then that removes my Floodhound. I probably don't want to do that. Maybe Chrome Courier to force this? Modular onto the prototype. Next turn I Karmic Guide back Courier and start refilling. It's probably fine. I'm fine with forcing the one that doesn't have trample to go here.
You know, I was actually just thinking, is there a way to force them to that they would pump the the one on the right, which would then let you put, because you put the Mauser in front of it, then first strike move the counters over to Floodhound, which would have been able to just block it.
And that's a Floodhound because Floodhound isn't a artifact for modular.
Right. Okay. Right. Fair enough. All right. Modular can only be done to artifact creatures. Gotcha.
Okay, they're going to use this to wipe my board. I think they're going to go ahead and when I try to modular here, they're going to throw the spear. No? Weird. I thought you were throwing the spear there for sure.
The spear does 3 damage anyway.
Fair. Okay, so they're just... That's fine. That's okay, so they are doing what I...
That's actually not that bad, all things considered. A lot of your board was kind of just chaff right now.
It sucks because I lose the counters there, right? Like
Yes, that is an annoyance, but it's not the worst, I feel like.
No thanks. Oh, sorry, I have to... Uh-huh. No thanks. Let me think on that one. Okay.
That's not really old mechanics so much as it is just weirdness involved in MTGO.
Yeah. Well, I guess because it doesn't say you control, which is what it would say if it were a current mechanic.
Right. Okay.
Karmic Guide for Chrome Courier, and then play Mauser, it looks like. Yeah. Alright, Karmic Guide. How you doing? Two cards in hand. Knighted Mirror gets blocked by Karmic Guide no matter what happens on the turn here. Big in Chrome Courier because I want to get card advantage to keep moving rather than like prototype to get a little bit more of a board presence. Okay.
Dakin is genuinely one of the better things that we could get.
Well,
It's going to be coming in with
7?
7 counters. Yeah.
Yeah.
7 is the number I said. 7 is just the number that it does.
That's very good. And it's very protectable, too, so... Because, like, I can play that and, like, Aerialist or... Alright, 3 cards in hand. The Shock. There's that Shock that, like, can hit walkers that has Delirium. Anyway, this block is super easy. Easiest block of my life. Like, force you to adapt. Yep. What's the follow-up here? Another Knighted Mirror.
Again, the more Knighted Mirrors they play, that's actually not really that bad. Knighted Mirror's biggest danger is going all in on one of them, I feel like.
Right. Okay, so we can deck in here, remove one of the mirrors. We can play Burden Aerialist, or we can play Barbed Spike. Can't really do both. I think Dak can get rid of, you know... Do I get rid of this one, or do I get rid of the one that can double strike? That's a question. Because, like, the one that can double strike is a little more of a threat, but it's also something they have to put mana into. The one that's a known quantity is less of a threat, but, like, you know, less of a... And then... That makes Burdened Aerialist a full trade with this Knighted Mirror. Which makes it the play I want here. I could also play the Barbed Spike off of the treasure token. I don't hate that. I already have enough flying blockers that I'm not expecting that to be an issue, and this gets me enough of a board presence that, like, we're cool with. Move on. Another Spear is probably one of their highest plays. Like, just as far as cards go, the Lightning Spear would give them a way to get Dakin off the field pretty simply. Killing their Arcbound Mouser would also be, like, kind of a neat trick. The Helix here would actually be really strong. So there's a Lightning Helix called Foundry Helix that's just like sack a permanent. If you sacked an artifact, it gains life, but it's like a deal 4. They could sack the Mauser, move the counter over to the Knighted Mirror. 3 cards in hand. Alright. Alright, okay. Alright. Sure. We blasted Dakon out of the universe with this. Yeah, so this is Kaleidoscope Scorch. For 3? Oh, come on. Come on, whatever. Alright, so they're on 1 card in hand. We have the Floodhound, though. And board is reasonably even. I think I'm pretty happy with where we're at. Ha! Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, that odds. Anyway, let's cast Late to Dinner on Karmic Guide, one of the best moves in the history of Magic. Revive your revival.
This is why Karmic Guide is a Rexer All-Star, by the way, because it revives its own thing and then also then dies so you can use it again and then do it over and over again.
And then we revive, like, this starts getting outrageous very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very happy I got to do Late to Dinner on Karmic Guide.
And of course, Karmic Guide and Revel Arc, the two of them, if you do it right, have an infinite of repeatedly bringing each other back, and Revel Arc picks up 2 things, so it's a way to infinitely like get everything out of your grave back onto play, so long as it was it's 2 power or less, right?
2 power or less.
Revel Arc. Yeah.
All right, so they got the Manticore, 1 card in hand, so whatever they have, they answered our they used Kaleidoscorch to answer Dakin.
Fair enough.
They had to front and back.
However, we did get enough value off of Dakin. I think that's okay.
Yeah. Most annoying thing here is that this likely kills Burdened Aerialist, no matter what happens here, right? Like, this is discard a card to kill Burdened Aerialist. Yeah, so this is damage equal to card types. This card, by the way, good. Oh, they have to go for my evasion. Right. Hey, that's actually really bad. That doesn't do anything. I can move the spike.
You have more evasion. It's over there.
Yeah, this flies. What are you doing?
I also think, just the other one that already just has flying over there that's currently tapped.
Well, they're the same. They're both 1/1 tokens that do that, but anyway.
I'm just saying that, like, yeah, you can... No big.
Right. If they attack with Mauser, I'm not even blocking it. I don't want the modular going anywhere.
Well, you could block it with your own and put your own modular somewhere else, too.
Okay.
I think, yeah, it's worth paying for this. This is a 2/2 flyer, so...
Yeah.
That's just 1.
That just one. That just costs 1.
That's a good way to deal with Knighted Mirror.
Yeah.
They would need to put 2 counters on it.
Well, let's get in there. I suppose the Chrome Courier attack here doesn't do anything. They realize it. Okay. Yeah, this answers both the Knighted Mirror and the Mountain Velis Manticore. Any thought of cracking the clue to get the Aerialist in there? Nah, I'm not that desperate to get in there.
Yeah.
I want, like right now, I want to leave up the option rather than like leave my, like, what if my opponent draws some way to get in and I don't have lens flare open? I'm the one in full control here, so I don't need to take risky maneuvers.
Mm.
They're the one who needs to. They're likely going to discard a land to kill Aerialist here. Sure. Oh, that does have two types.
Discarding. Oh yeah, yeah, fair.
Cool.
Okay, well that's they still had to discard a card to pay for your five, like dealing with the 5 mana you already played because you already got the value off of Karmic Guide.
Yeah. Anyway, here, because I have a lot of mana here, I'm a lot more likely to use the food to do that, like to push in with a Aerialist on this turn. Wow.
Nice. Now you can pretty much deal with. Oh hell yeah, it's perfect.
Okay.
What a good way of doing this.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and spend some Ethereum.
In that case, you could probably push on the attack for one of these, and then also leave one up in defense as a. You bet you didn't think I had two of them, did you? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
It might actually still be better to just leave it up on defense, though.
I'm gonna try to get them to kill the courier with the Manticore move. The problem is that a lot of my attacks just get them to chump with this dumb idiot. Like, I'm like, I don't want them to chump with that dumb idiot. Really happy to spin some Ethereum here. This is how I want the deck to be functioning. This is where it wants to be. Good card.
That will. They've got 3 activations of that.
Yeah, 4 if they want to sack their land, but yeah, 4 total. If they want to sack,
yeah, okay,
1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 is mana. But like, so here they could kill Aerialist. They can't kill enough of my board to. I think the most annoying thing would be if they realized Ethereum Spinner's a real threat here, right?
Yes, 100%.
Like if they like sacked Mauser, I think they're gonna sack Mauser to let Knighted Mirror in.
Okay, they're killing the Aerialist.
Sure.
And they sacked the land for that. Okay.
I thought they were sacking the Mauser for sure to put on Knighted Mirror. I thought that was
I'm surprised that they're not doing that.
Maybe they want to do that and they'll kill Chrome Courier with this. Because yeah, I think they want. I think they want to get rid of all my evasion so that they don't. So that like, you know, they can just win through their ground game here.
Right.
The problem for that is hopefully that I'm able to just like both get enough Ethereum spinner tokens and also like kill their things with these lens flares. Floodhound is actually, I think, the biggest threat hanging out here. Okay. No matter what, they can't get rid of enough artifacts to make me not be able to cast these lens flares. We have 2 lands and then a Barb Spike and a food. Damn it. Well... That's fine. No hand to discard. No, thank you. Oh, come on. They could have sacked that. We don't have any attacks that make any sense here. Because of the fort. Oh, actually, no, I can just push through with Lens Flare, I suppose, right? Yeah.
All right, they've got nothing left.
Yeah, they're on top deck. Um,
We have a 5-mana draw card, so that's nice.
yeah, I'm gonna choose not to put down the prototype just so I can make sure I make a clue here. Yeah, so they're on top deck and they don't have the Manticore anymore. Sure, so they can eat that to deal damage. More
I
importantly,
also makes it a 4.
yeah, more importantly, they eat it to make a 4/4, right?
Thankfully, they don't really have a good target for that 1 damage anymore, though.
No.
Like, Mauser is the only thing that it will kill. And of course, if they then get something that does 2 damage, if they get a second one, they'll target one of the modular 2s up here, which just makes us a 3/3 lifelinker instead. So this is modular kind of compounding in on itself to create increasingly large threats as your board gets reduced.
Yeah, right now I'm doing this to force the move. I want to force the block. Oh, they're going that way. Sure.
There you go. Now you have a they can't even attack in threat anymore.
You can't even come in anymore. Go away. uh,
Probably their first empty draw in a while.
yeah.
Hopefully, anyway. There you go. Good stuff.
1 blue.
Got a level 1 mana Mulldrifter.
Draw 2 cards. Ooh. Anyway, what if all my modular creatures attacked? Like, what? What are you gonna do? Block them? Uh-huh.
That's the most damage blocked, but they're okay. So they have to draw an artifact to kill your Thopter at this point, and even then, you just too much damage through all of them.
Well, the Thopter
Like,
now has the modular token, so...
Oh, right, yeah, fair enough.
There's
Yeah, they don't really have an alternate, like, a way out of this at this point, I think, unless there's a Chasm in this set that does 3.
The Chasm that does... There is a Chasm. It does 3 to creatures without flying.
Okay.
I'm so happy Mulldrifter for 1 got to show up. God damn. Yeah, come on in. All right. Yeah, at this point, I know the rest of the deck is lands right now.
This isn't the first time we played Thought Monitor. Thought Monitor has actually come down at least once before at this point. It's just getting it played for the minimum cost available for it is what we're looking for.
All right, so... Might be feeling this other whale. They had a lot of 3/3 bodies. And, like, that's just... I also don't think the Dreadmaught's good here. They all way too... Like, again, sack an artifact ping? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Absolutely not. How many drafts go by with the count being at 0? Too many. Don't hate hard evidence here either. Problem is, there's not a ton I want to cut right now. Everything does a lot of work in this match. Alright. Let's ride. This ain't it. Ugh, okay.
Slow but viable.
God, what do I bottom here? The snare?
Oh, I hate that.
The land? Like, all these are...
Planes? Yeah,
Oh,
like...
God. All right, you wanna, let's choose death. I'll choose death here. I'm fine choosing death. That's okay. So the choice, by the way, to put the land on the bottom is a guarantee 120% of what will be my top 4 cards. Just so we are all on the same chair.
Yeah, cosmically and karmically, it has to ruin you over it.
Yes. 110%. Like, we just... It's 100... Like, this was just known. Wow. Damn. It's actually really good against this hand, even. Okay.
So careful about it that... so careful about it that they're not even coming in with their 2/2.
Yeah. I knew it was a guarantee when I kept this. Like, just like it was
It's
a
like
guarantee. But also it's a guarantee if I keep 3 lands. Do you know what the cards
so you
are,
would
right?
never... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100% that you would have needed this soul snare immediately if you had kept the 3 lands instead.
Yeah.
It's like... Objectively speaking, I want to say putting down the land is actually a pretty good chance of, you know, you'd have a decent chance of drawing more lands.
It's 50,
like you wouldn't have.
It's actually the odds of drawing a land there are 48%, then 50%, then 51% on, and they get higher every draw from this point on. So
Yeah, so like
we've been at 50-50, like, or higher for most things.
What I'm getting at is that statistically, the land is the better option. Like,
all right, so we're taking
some lumps.
Wait, no blocks.
Because yeah, if you block it, they're just going to. Well, no, hold up. They need to spend mana to activate it.
They do, but I need the things in play to be able to play Lens Flares. If I'm going to win, I need to be able to Lens Flare.
Right, fair.
It's the only way.
Because currently Lens Flare costs 2. Gotcha. Yeah, all right. I gotcha.
Well, yeah, it's enough that it's castable. Otherwise, if I lose my board, I only have the Soul Snares, and that's just not enough to be able to function.
That is impressive. Is the way I'll put it.
Ping my Thopter and get in. Ping my Thopter and get in. Yes! Oh, we're dead as shit.
Oh,
we're
unbelievably
fucking
ruined.
Dead. Holy shit, we're dead.
All right, so There's
Oh,
nothing that does it, I think, here. Like,
no.
finally getting a land that lets you play Aerialist, which does not nothing. If you could survive another turn, you could get back and
Menace.
down.
Like,
But yeah,
um, okay. We're gonna play Aerialist Pass, see what happens. Also note they can just power up the Triskelion and kill it.
mhm.
Power up the base cannon. Uh-huh. Shit. Okay, we're dead. I thought I had an out before that spear came down, but now we're going to dead to spear on tap. Because next turn if I drew a land, I could double Lens Flare plus Ethereum Spinner to like not die, but now we're at dead.
Yeah, now you're just
So
destroyed.
now the out is Courier. What was wrong with my 7-card hand? Every card in it was white, and I had no white mana. I had Floodhound as the only castable in the entire hand, whereas the entire hand wanted white mana. Like, so,
I think it's that they didn't see the 7 card. Like choosing to mull
yes.
down to 5
But
is
yeah.
always a
But yeah.
a decision.
And then the 6-card hand was plains for our 6 for our 7 on Mold 6.
It's like you played Treasure Cruise twice.
That was game 2?
Yeah, no, the first game took a while.
What the fuck?
You won the first game.
Oh my god, that was game 2. Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's why that wasn't like the worst thing in the world to have happen, because you still had one game left as buffer.
My brain had written game 1 as like.
You had to play your entire deck, so I see what you're talking about, but
Thinking about
you play a lot of red.
Thinking about pro red as a thing. I'm thinking I don't want these 1 toughness bits. Maybe the spinner's worse than. Nah, I'm gonna keep that.
The spinner is 1 toughness, but it creates more of them. This is mono white, but you have plays. The chances of you drawing an island in okay, you don't even have a pressing need to draw islands yet, is the thing.
Yeah,
and your chance of drawing an island is like roughly 1 in 1.25 to 1 1/3 as it goes on every turn.
The problem is that it just like it's just bear plus bear, and there's not a lot else going on here.
Hey, bear at least has 2 toughness.
Okay. That might get up to castable at some point. Soul Snare is only on attacking things. I can play Prototype and then attack in whatever 2 they make, no matter what. Which is nice. They probably kill this with Kaleido Vision.
Paying for an X.
Yeah, Kaleido.
Yeah, Kaleidoscorch.
Yep. Okay. Then that means their 3 is going to be... At the rate we're going, their 3 is the Arcbound Menace Hound thing, and then we just sort of move from there? Or they just kill our prototype, which they can... Yeah, okay.
Not even any additional lands.
No. Again, every land draw at this point is a 50-50. Actually better than at every single draw we take. At least they're not doing a lot that's, like, pressing at us. I'd like to draw an island, obviously, to Chrome Courier. That said...
Not an island, but it could theoretically pay off later.
Not.
So it's not a dead draw.
It's.
It's close to it
I
though.
was gonna say. You're
It gets you
technically not
closer to
wrong,
late to dinner.
which is a 4-drop. That's secretly a 2-drop.
Yes. It does gain you 3 life after paying an additional 2 mana.
Okay, well, Slag Shredder's gonna die the moment it attacks. We've got 4 artifacts to throw. We're clearly not killing that. And island's what we're looking for.
For red.
I don't hate it.
It's not perfect, but it does have protection from red.
Big thing? Exiles
Gets
their
rid of
Kaleidoscorch. So,
Yeah.
there's that threat out. Alright, per red, we can't block the mirror, but we can, like, it basically is invincible to everything else. The spear does the damage. Marble Gargoyle. Ugh. Because the big reason the spear doesn't have the equipped creature do the damage, it doesn't need to be equipped.
Yeah, it can just be.
They could just throw at any point. So,
That could be a 5 mana lightning bolt if you want it to be.
you are absolutely fucking with me.
This lets you play Lens Flare for 3.
It'll be for 4. This Archon prototype isn't living.
That's fair.
Like,
It lets you play Lens Flare, though.
yes. And there's what we call the target for Lens Flare. I think I have to trade with the mirror. Because they'll let it trade. They're not going to use +1/+1 counter on it.
Yeah, because it's going to put. They're going to put the. Oh, you have to sacrifice.
Yeah,
okay.
it's not modular. It's sacrifice, which means they can't damage plus it. So they will take the trade here. The modular here is going to trigger, and then I'm going to choose not to use it for obvious reasons. And then if I draw land, I can answer all 3 threats. Okay, I can't answer all 3 threats.
Answer a few threats.
Okay, they only have 1 card left in hand. So we have to use the Soul Snare on Marble Gargoyle, and we have to use the Lens Flare on the Sojourner's Companion. All right.
And you can just block the Strider. So
we're gonna thing that costs the most, obviously. They'll sack it to shoot us. Or we'll die. That's a hell of a last card. +2/+2 hexproof indestructible. That counters my spell in 3 different ways, actually.
yeah, +2/+2, indestructible, and hexproof are all ways to get rid of 5 damage.
Yeah. Which sucks, because if I had 1 more mana available...
Could have soul snared in response to that.
We're dead right now. They can sack for 5 damage. Okay. Well...
The chances of that happening were 100%, but also objectively they were not 100%. They were actually relatively low.
Happens.
Yep.
All right, let's see if we can have game round 3 go a little bit more our fashion. I'd like to take more than just a 30-minute game off of our opponent. Yep. And one more. Sanctifier was good here. Yeah, oof. That did not go well. All right, round 3. Let's see what we can find. We have a really hard time taking the board with this deck.
That first game went long, but like that was kind of how it was supposed to go.
Yeah, like that game was us winning pretty, like, without.
We were on the front foot most of that game, actually, is the thing. And that wasn't about that wasn't off the back of your opponent doing badly either, really. It was just that your deck, came to work that day. As opposed to these other 2 times where we just decided, no thanks, we're good.
Yeah.
It's very vulnerable to draw order, I think, is part of it. And that's despite the fact that it has quite a lot of redundancy in the form of double cards on a lot of things.
I think a lot of the major issue I'm seeing with it is just I cannot get things off the board. For the life of me, it is impossible. I am.
Not only do we not have much removal, on top of that, our creatures are weak.
I hate to say it, I'm very missing that exile target tapped creature card.
Yeah, I know.
That is. I would give up a lot of my deck for a copy of that.
Hey, you want another mono white hand? Can't happen 3 times in a row, can it?
Yes.
I mean, yes, objectively it can, but like it can't, right?
Yes, 100%.
No, we're good. All right, free from the curse. Congratulations.
All right, fighting another Boros opponent. They probably play a prototype pass. Yeah. One of the things as I've sort of been hearing people talking about the format, it seems that the Boros deck is like 7 steps above every single other deck, is what I've heard a lot of people say. I've heard other opinions about other decks, but just the setup with the Boros deck is just that it's like you are just drafting every modular card, and it doesn't matter what your order on anything is.
It feeds into itself really well.
Every card feeds into itself, and you have to have some very specific removal to take it down. Now for us, I'm hoping that we can just, either push a trick out of them or take 2. That's fine. Okay, this likely means they're holding another removal spell. Perhaps the shock? No? Okay, that trade makes me think they're 100%.
I think they're holding the destroy target artifact charm that they could have, I think.
They would have just cast it.
Oh yeah, fair.
What are they holding?
That's a weird trade, considering it would have been able to block if they hadn't done that.
Yeah.
So what, they drew that, right? Like that's what that was?
All right, I am absolutely playing late to dinner so that I have another artifact creature in play. because I do not want these modular. Like the part that's scaring me is losing the modular. Anyway, by the way, this card, incredible.
This is a 4-mana 2/2 flying vigilance lord.
Yeah,
You know,
it is a play on the card Always Watching, which was a white 1 anthem that gave +1/+1 vigilance to non-token creatures. Sure.
I guess that's why they didn't mind trade, but like,
Oh, that's a food. I saw the aerialist. I'm like, that's just a. That's easy. Okay, Barb's Spike.
that makes lens flare cost, I think, just white
Just
now,
the white.
right?
Yeah, so we can use it off of treasure. The problem is I don't think we're gonna catch the Watcher in a fight anymore.
Probably not the Watcher, but lens flare can target blocking creatures. Looking forward to the card that makes all food, treasure, and clue tokens treasure and clue tokens.
All your tokens are all 3 different token type.
Yeah.
So their hand is 1 known card, 3 unknowns. What do we? Okay, Archbound Slasher. That thing's pretty big. Yup. Okay, I was gonna say there's no way.
I got basically nothing.
I got 1. Better to play that or better to search our blacks? We have a treasure token. It's better to play this. I don't, because like if I need another mana source, I can have it. That's like if I draw into our friend. Okay. And then there's Prototype. One unknown. They finally have flying. We have a lot of live draws.
Sure do.
Yeah, they can't attack. Yes.
That is okay. Yeah, nice.
Incredible.
So that, which one do you delete with that? It's the Watcher, right? Like,
might be the flock. And
yes, because you can block the healer's flock with Aerialist because you'll be able to sacrifice a food token after paying for cost here, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be able to do that. I've sacked the treasure token here. It's gonna fly.
Yeah, I'm just saying you leave the Aerialist back to block Healer's Flock when it comes in next turn.
That's really what Soul
After
Snare's
destroying their
for.
Watcher, right? I guess, yeah.
Either way.
You got a lot of different good targets to exile, I guess is the way to put it.
Very happy with deck in here. I that was what when I kept the treasure token around and wanted was thinking about cycling that. All right, let's go Exile Flock. And then I'm going to attack them for half their life total. In the air. And then next turn we'll attack them for the other half of their life total with the food token. And then they'll have to block with Raven Watcher. They can't attack at deck in here with Thraben Watcher. Like, they can try, but Soul Snare exists, so they just lose their Thraben Watcher.
Mm. They would have to destroy or remove the Soul Snare first, which good luck doing that with primary red. I guess it could do it with white, but
I'm gonna take that Dreadmaw out again. Sanctifier in.
they would have done it ages ago if they could, though.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna bring in Dress Down. See if we can't catch Thraben with this. Does Dress Down full counter a modular creature? Oh god, humility effects I am not versed in. It's not a come into play. Okay, modular, yeah, because it's not coming to play, it doesn't touch it. That's what I thought. We ever gonna draw that Disciple of the Sun? Probably not. Then we'll go without that. All right.
mono white hands. And also single land. This is not a good hand at all. It's not gonna work. I know what you're gonna try and do, but it's not gonna work.
It's fine. Everything's fine here. I only need to draw one land. Everything's gonna be fine. If I draw one land, I can cycle the Sojourner's Companion. If I don't draw one land, we're on Arkbarn Mausers for eternity. That is not a hand, by the way, I would have kept on the play.
Yeah, you needed that one extra draw on the draw.
Yes, I would absolutely positively in
You
no
literally
world.
needed to.
Well, there is
Yeah.
no world where I would have kept that on the play. I kept it because of Sojourner's Companion alone. That's it. That's the only reason. Next turn, I can cycle it, go grab.
Unless you draw another land, in which case you could keep it around and then just make it cost like nothing.
Yes. Sure.
Hello, Knighted Mirror. This is the third deck in a row that's playing this, I think.
All Knighted Mirrors all day. Easy.
I only dislike this because it's like the other two times we did this, it was a struggle, and then this time it just worked.
This was not me using Kavanaugh's powers for good. They cannot be used for good. This was me finally getting the 50-50 split to work.
Yeah. The banned list was in fact finally too fucking long.
Barbed Spike?
If you Barbed Spike, you reduce the cost of Sojourner's Companion to 3. Chrome Courier is a flyer that uses up all of your available mana, reduces it to 4, and then you could Barb Spike and Companion next turn, drawing a land. So I think the Courier is the better play over the Spike.
Sure.
It's a little bit more efficient use of your mana. And you were gonna get this anyway, no matter what.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what Chrome Courier offers you. Plains or Island.
Those are the only cards the Chrome Courier knows.
I mean, hey, if that was literally the only thing you could do, is just like search for Plains and Island for your deck, keep one, put the other in the grave. Chrome Courier would actually still be a good card. On a flying 1/1, artifact.
I will not block your Knighted Mirror. You want to up it?
I'm gonna go and.
That's your entire turn. Nice try. I don't believe you. You need bodies.
All right, so this turn you'd be able to play Barb Spike into Companion if you wanted to, I think. If my math was right, and I think it is. Or you could play Barb Spike and leave up Lens Flare.
The power here is a 4/4 still trades with the activated Knighted Mirror.
Yes. 4/4s are tough. They have 4 power and 4 butt.
Yeah. Fourth land has been found. You know what another cool part about this hand is right now?
Yeah. Floodhound is online to just activate, then draw.
There are so many threats right now. You have a 1-drop? Wow.
I don't regret emphasizing that you should have one Floodhound. It was that particular pick between the removal and Floodhound that was wrong on my end.
Yeah.
And you're right. You were right, obviously, but
Floodhound. Yeah, that's the thing. Floodhound's been great to us. It just comes around way later than.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Relevant would have been able to just remove a creature from the board.
Mm-hmm. It happens. That's very funny.
It's a permanent with CMC 3 or less. It can pick it up.
Modular.
It's going to be extremely hard for me to move saying CMC to MV, but
yeah. At least that one is like a thing that makes sense in that, like,
The name change is perfectly fine. It's a shorter name that means
See,
is actually even
the reason we
more
use
obvious.
CMC is that converted mana cost sucks and is garbage.
It is a bad term, yeah. Especially, it's also not even like immediately understandable about what it means.
Right? What the hell is a
Because
converted mana cost? Like, what is that?
it's only converted because of X costs, right? Like that's the only reason why they use the word converted in
Yes.
there, or split
Reduction.
cards and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Mana value is both more concise and also makes more sense. So it's like that's a perfectly reasonable change. That was honestly, what the fuck is this?
What the fuck is this?
I have never seen this card. Did you sneak this in? Like, did you just create your own card and then put it into the set?
Fuck
this
off!
Is uncommon? What is this?
Fuck off! What is this? Excuse me? I think we just die? Like, what is happening here?
You've got, they don't have trample, so no, you don't just die.
Okay. Like, what the fuck is anything?
This card's not real. Get that shit out of here. You made this up.
Made it up. Didn't happen. Okay.
You've got Lens Flare. They have one red available. They can't use that one red to save anything.
They can't use the hell trick.
So,
we're gonna cool trick. I think is what we're gonna.
Yeah,
do.
I think I know a cool trick you're gonna go for. You're going to go for, because modular will be doing the attacking step still, right? Like,
yeah.
And then you can, in response to the modular, Lens Flare something, so the modular like fizzles.
Like this.
Because you still get to react to modular as it goes off.
Yeah, so I think this is what we're gonna do. They're gonna use Arcbound Javelineer to make this bad. The fuck is this? Fakest fucking cards I've seen in my life.
It's like, I looked through most of the spoiler and I did not see that card. Like, it's an uncommon. What?
Uh-huh.
You went through like 3 entire drafts of this and that never popped up. Probably because I'm willing to bet people see that shit and just first pick it, like slam every time.
No shit, yeah. Anyway, check out my cool modular move. I hope you like it. Here we go. Uh-huh. Did you misclick?
Yeah, it seems like they targeted the Mauser.
Did you misclick? Like, what? Hold on.
Thanks for the free kill on this, I guess. And then once you kill this, you react to their modular with your Lens Flare, and you kill that, like whatever they put it on.
Unless it's the Arcbound.
I guess, yeah.
I'm gonna put this on my flyer, I think.
Sure. Hardly the fakest format. There have been way more fake formats.
Yeah. Okay, then modular for $1 million.
Yeah, it's just they have one unblocked. Okay, they are.
Yeah, that sucks.
I would not have been able to resist putting that on the unblocked double striker. Like, I would have done that.
The reason they're doing it that way is because this card also has modular. Okay.
Resitide Bridge doesn't really help.
No. am I doing next turn? Jumping Shikari. Sojourner's Companion is blocking these, one of these. I think I'm playing Razortide Bridge and passing. I don't like tapping out for Disciple.
The only thing I would recommend for is play the plains instead of the bridge, because that means that you can leave up Lens Flare and also have Bloodhound tap and crack in the same turn available to you.
Sure, yeah. I'm gonna go. Okay, actually, let's go. Let's make some obvious looking moves.
Another chump that further pumps your team, so
Yes.
that makes sense too. Further pumps your air, importantly.
You know what scares me the most here?
A second one of those because it's an uncommon.
I know that our opponent's 3 cards are not land. They've missed land drops. Their hand is gas.
Yeah.
Another Shikari would be pretty freaking bad.
It's not like it's impossible. It's
an uncommon.
It's not a rare.
You know. Tough. 3 live cards in hand. How much can they attack is going to be a question. Right? Like,
They can't attack you much, right? Like,
yeah.
You've got good blocks, and your crackback is lethal in a lot of ways, I think. So
What the fuck is this? All right, I have to respect this.
Yes.
Because if they have a trick, they kill us.
You shields are a little bit down right now, unfortunately, but invincible, make Hellfucker trick. Okay.
I can't beat Hellfucker trick. We never could beat Hellfucker trick.
Yeah. On the other hand, that wasn't a permanent counter.
Anyway.
So yeah. They're gonna fall for this every time. Hell yes. Let's teach you about the downsides of the first strike step.
Oh,
Those
God.
do exist.
Oh, they let me out of combat. They had the answer.
All right, then.
They were not supposed to let me out of combat.
They also let you kill their other Knight in Mirror, which is nice. I think the Sojourner's Companion is still important as blocking.
Something has to chump this idiot still. I think Sojourner's Companion might want to get in here.
Just so you can force them down to, well, they're going to block that. I think if they missed using the Javelineer there, they want to... And, that might actually be why. They wanted to make sure to be able to block with it, but they might have overlooked the fact that they need to block it.
If it's dead.
If it's dead, yeah. Or they're just gonna go to 2?
You're gonna kill me next turn?
That's scary. Okay.
How are you going to kill me this turn?
Huh.
That's what they're saying. That is the
Yeah.
sentence that they just said.
That doesn't
That
do
doesn't
it.
do it.
That's a flying blocker. That doesn't do it.
The Javelineer means I can't kill them.
Yeah.
We get to draw. They also like have the problem of like they can't overcommit an attack either.
Mm-hmm. This kind of looks like overcommitting on the attack.
Yeah. I think I need to know what.
Sorry.
I think I need to know what the top card of my deck is before I make blocking decisions. They're dead.
Kill him in response.
Yeah, they're going to be dead here, so I'm okay spending this. They're about to die. This body's irrelevant. Do you want to know how they're going to die?
I'm interested in this.
It's very good.
Dog in the air.
It doesn't jump it,
Dog on the floor.
but it's still 2 power.
Yeah. They do still need to block it, and they just don't have enough blockers to block 2 power.
No. They can't block
Unless
it
they have a shock in their hand.
They still have to abyss the...
Mhm.
And we have 2 plays, so... I want to kill them with a dog.
Get in there, dog.
Does Barb Strike grant flying? No, they only have 2 blockers. This card does not fly. It's a 2/2 on the ground. Uh-huh.
You've only got one. Yeah, you've only got one, though, buddy.
Yup.
Dog's got two toughness.
Dog too tough! Dog too tough!
Dog too tough. Alright, I'm glad that... Yeah, so...
The deck works.
That could function. It wasn't bad. It's just... There was a couple pieces missing, and it just did not come to work in match 2.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
So, one of the things we can say there is that we did lose... Game 2 and match 2, we lost to the inclusion of Dakin. But we also won games to the inclusion of Dakin, so I'm going to call that a wash.
Yeah.
Because we lost a game because that the opening hand in that was the dual land and a island, which would have been like I would have been able to keep a 2-lander that would have had 2 lands on color there.
Yeah.
But we also like won 2 games to Dakin existing, so
yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, in match 1, your opponent's deck was highly synergistic and just kicked her ass. That's different. That was just your opponent just had a better, everything going on there.
Yeah, they that was one of those 0-2, but it was close though, definitely.
Yeah, we got some good hits in.
So, yeah, I'm happy I got to do Mulldrifter. That's what I came here for.
1 mana Mulldrifter. Super good.
So I think we kind of showed how the affinity works out, and I think our opponents showed also how the modular stuff works out. You really need. That's why exile removal is really, really important in this format too. Like
I mean, Soul Snare, when you had that on the board, kept your opponent back for the entire game.
Like,
because they could not let anything get exiled. They just hated it entirely.
Yeah. To the point where the other game we got eaten by it was like where they played the disenchant on Soul Snare.
Yeah, it's specifically doing that. Yeah, because Soul Snare has the weakness of that it can only activate under the very specific circumstance. So
Yes.
you can't activate it in response to that or anything like that. And even then, we didn't have the white up to do so anyway.
Yeah,
so
we were dead like 6 ways Sunday in that one though. Anyway, but yeah, that one I'm pretty happy
all 3 of
with.
your opponents played white, and white seems extremely powerful in this format.
Well, again, it has a lot of exile removal too, which answers the problems of your modular stuff. You know, you have the pacifism in green white. You have the exile that taps exile tap creature, Soul Snare. You have the Dune Blast we were playing, but like that one's good because it costs 1, like rather than it being good for being what it is. I'm a little sad we never got to use the Thopter Maker.
Yeah,
that's the expensive spell liker.
It's not like it was. It's not like it didn't show up either. The problem was just it was never the right time to use it.
Yeah, we had it the one game, but then like our opponent was like, "I draw, ping everything." It's like, well, this has 1 toughness, so goodbye forever. Anyway, but yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Doc, for jumping in for the host.
Yeah, no worries. I always enjoy watching.
Yeah. But yeah, if you want to catch more of this, please follow. Please check this out. I'm doing streams on weekdays, 7 Central. We got tomorrow is normally it would be Final Fantasy that moved to Thursday. So Wednesday is currently Slay the Spire Day instead of on Friday. I'm shuffling the schedule around. So, but yeah, so tomorrow is Slay the Spire mods. If you want to check out that. That'll be tomorrow at 7, and then Thursday, Final Fantasy 8. But yeah, check this out. Subscribe for the cool skulls, slimes, eggs, cubes, all that noise. Next week, we'll be doing Modern Cube in this rather than Modern Horizons, which I guess is similar anyway, because we'll still have Modern Horizons around. But
well, and I bet they're putting a lot of Modern Horizons cards into it. So
yes. Emma building it mentioned, like, Modern Horizons 2 opens up a lot of venues for this, like, Imperial Recruiter existing for Kiki Combo, or
Imperial Recruiter being put into Modern is super surprising to me, by the way. That is one of the big, really? That's one of the big legacy shifts that I was not expecting at all.
Vindicate was the one I was like, oh.
Hell yeah.
Give me that news. So, yeah, anyway, thank you all for joining. Have a good night, everybody.